Okay, here's another little routine I put together. Again, I'm going to go pretty quick through the repetitions. Ideally, you would take your time to do a little bit more repetitions, or you'd cycle through this routine twice. All right, follow me here. I'm going to start in sitting, cross-legged sitting. Now, I'm not the best example here, so if you have tight hips and sitting, use a pillow or two so you can get your spine nice and upright. So I just get my butt on the pillow, a little bit towards the front of the pillow. A lot of people do not need this, so don't use it unless you need it. But what you do want to be able to do is get your spine straight, especially down in the lower spine, lumbar spine. So pillows can help that to happen. All right, we're going to start with a spinal twist. All right, I'm going to twist all the way to my right, kind of wring my spine out, go all the way to my left. Wring my spine out. I'm going to do it to the right again. I'm going to kind of press this knee down as I use it as a lever to turn. Feel that twist from the lumbar spine all the way up through the top of the head. Let your vision guide the twist. All right, press down, turn. And now lastly, don't hold your breath. So try to exhale with the turn. Inhale back to center. Exhale with a turn. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Inhale back to center. One more to each side. Exhale. Inhale back to center. And exhale. Inhale back to center. Now next one, we're just going to do a simple fold over. Hands go out in front of you. And depending upon how tight your hips are, some people can go totally flat here. I cannot. But I'm just walking my hands out slowly. Not forcing, no pain. Definitely some discomfort, but nothing sharp or no pain that feels dangerous. Now letting my head go, I'm about as far out as I can be. Still have my sits bones on the pillow or on the floor. Deep breathing in and out of your nose. Let's do several deep breaths. And let's walk it back up. Do a little neck range of motion here now. So I'm getting a nice vertical spine. I'm nice and straight in my lower back. All right? I'm not letting my body hunch over. Nice and straight. I'm lifting from the crown of the head. So I want to feel that lifting up here, the chin pulled into the throat, the shoulders relax. So just lift and drop your shoulders a couple times to remind you to let that tension go. Neck nice and long, so lifting from the top of the head without working hard. Keep the idea of a lift throughout this whole sequence. Let's turn to the left. Look as far back as you can. Keep the chin moving down slightly. Now turn to the right. As far back as you can. Chin down. Back and forth. I'm heading to the left again. To the right. So I use as much motion as I can. My shoulders don't really turn much. I like to keep my palms right on my knees. Okay, now let's bring chin to the chest and roll down slightly. And then look up and stretch the throat out by jutting the chin up and forward. Baby bird getting fed by its mom is the visual there. Up, reach, roll down. Chin to the chest or approaching it. Nice and straight. Head falls back on neck, chin reaches forward, stretches the throat. Two more times, down, Only tilt back as much as you can comfortably. Don't irritate your neck. A lot of necks don't like reaching back too much. So think about more just your head tipping back on your neck rather than your whole neck on your torso. Okay, one more in this position. Let's go ahead and straighten one leg out. Walk that knee as far up towards your chest as you can and sit nice and tall with this. Bring the toes of the elongated leg towards your shin. If you're too tight here, you can bend your knee a little bit. Let's bring the toes towards the shin, straighten the knee if you can. Nice and upright, elongated neck. 3 good deep breaths here. Switch legs. Set up again. Bring the heels close to the butt as you can get it. Get a good tight hold on your shin right below the knee. Straighten the knee out on this side if you can. Bring the toes towards the shin. Elongate the whole posterior side of that leg. Sit up nice and tall where your chest comes to your thigh. Relax your shoulders. Lift from the top of the head. Bring your chin into the throat. Imagining, visualizing this really straight vertical spine. And let's breathe in and out of our nose now. Okay, we're going to move to a long sitting position. Now, I don't need the pillows with this version because it takes the hip tightness I have out of the picture. I've got good flexibility of my hamstrings and adductors, so this isn't too hard for me to just sit like this. So again, I want to spread my legs about as far as I can to start to maybe feel a stretch in here. And I want to get nice and upright through my spine. All right. So this is a long sit for the adductors. We're not going to spend a lot of time in here. I just want you to get your legs wide like this. And again, lift from the crown of the head. And let's just do some deep breathing here. I'm just letting my hands rest on my knees or shins in this position. I'm pulling the toes towards the shin. And if you're too tight, you got to bend the knees. People who are tight might end up in this position, but this is fine as well. All right? A couple more deep breaths. Okay, let's move into long sit with your legs straight in front of you. And I'm going to show you the back view on this. So I'm putting my legs straight out in front of me, bending the knees if I need to. And I'm going to walk my hands behind me. Now if this is too difficult, you can be up on your fingertips. If your wrists are tight, palms are tight. I'm going to go down on my palms. Now here I'm bringing my toes towards my shins. I'm letting my shoulder blades come together without forcing or straining, but this bringing my shoulder blades together opens up the chest. I'm going to switch my position so you can see the front here. Arms are behind me. Now I'm just opening up my chest, getting a little bit of bicep stretch here. Some good deep breathing here. This allows you to really open up your lungs. Some good deep breaths in and out of the nose. Okay, let's take that into some press-ups if you can do this. Side views like this, it's probably the easiest to see. You can walk your legs out, you can bring them in close. I'm going to kind of find a sweet spot here. All right, and and butt to the ground, butt off the ground. Good tricep work. We're going to get about 10 to 12 of these. Okay, a little rest, shake your arms out. I have one more little exercise in this position. I'll show you this view. Get back to lifting your butt off the ground, palms down or fingertips down if you can. Let's just do some of these alternating legs. Try to keep the hips up nice and high. Okay, we're going to go into a side lying position now. You can go with or without a pillow. It's easier on the neck with a pillow. So I'm going to use one. I'm going to lie on my left side first. Actually, how I'm going to set this up is lie back, hook lying. I'm going to let my legs fall all the way over and carry me into my side. And what I want is a pretty straight line through here, but don't be too nitpicky about it. Place your bottom hand, so my left hand, all the way, reach it out as far as I can. Place this palm on top of it. We're going to start with this one, just easy opening and closing. You want to watch your top hand with your eyes the whole time. I want my knees to stay down on the floor. If they lift a little, no problem. But I want this separation of my lower spine and my upper spine, this rotation to happen. Okay, now let's progress a little bit with a circle here. No holding of the breath. Still watching my hand. Great for the rib cage, spine, especially the mid-spine, and good for shoulder mobility and rotator cuff work as well. One more this way. Now reverse it. Again, I am not holding my breath or struggling here. I'm making a real focused effort not to hold my breath. It would make sense if you want to link your breathing to this to inhale as everything's opening and then exhale as you're closing here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale. Okay, let's go to the other side. So now just come back to your neck, back to your back. Hook lying position. Drop the legs to the other side. So for me, it's the right, and I let my body carry on over to the side, reaching long with my lower arm. Getting everything pretty straight here, adjusting a little bit. Top hand on the bottom hand, palms on palm, and open. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more, inhale, exhale. Now let's circle it. Remember, you're watching your hand with your eyes, which will drive your neck into rotation as well, which will cause even more of a spinal twist from the bottom of your spine all the way up to the top. Let that lateral rib cage Really open up, let your pecs stretch out, let your shoulder get some mobility here, big range of rotation. Okay, reverse. One more now. Nice. All right. We're going to go ahead and stand up now. We're just going to end with one more stretch and then a couple balance challenges. Here's the stretch. Walking the legs out wide. Maybe not as wide as you can possibly go, but wide enough to perhaps feel it in your inner thighs if you're tight enough. Knees are not locked, they're just slightly bent. All right, we're gonna reach overhead. Take some deep breaths this way. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do some tailbone tucking in this position, rolling through the pelvis. I'll show you the side view. Great thing to do in this wide stance position. Now I'm trying to keep my feet parallel facing forward the entire time here. I'm not letting them turn out at all. And when you're in this position, usually there's not a lot of room for your pelvis to move, so the movement of the pelvis, the posterior tilting, is subtle. Now the next one I want you to do from this is to try to get your hands to the floor. For that, for a lot of people that's hard, so I want to show you an alternate version. You can have a chair or use your couch or something. Pardon the view here. But just get your hands out on something to support you. Shift your weight back once you're there, so let your weight go into your heels. Keep your knees not locked out, but as straight as you can get them. If you have to bend them a bit, that's fine. And just relax in this position. A few good deep breaths. Really try to sit back on your heels and then reach your hands forward. So not only are you stretching your hamstrings, adductors, you're trying to elongate your spine. Keep that in mind as you do this stretch. Okay. Now we're just going to end with a few balance challenges just to bring it all together. We're going to do this one, staying on one leg. All right, we're going to challenge that by reaching with the other leg. Reaching forward, laterally, behind, and a little curtsy reach. Let's do that 3 times per side. Forward, lateral, behind, curtsy reach. One more time. Forward, lateral, behind, curtsy reach. Other side. Forward. Now, the more you bend this standing leg into a squat, generally the harder it is to balance. So just do what works for you. Some people who struggle to maintain the balance with these reaches, all they really need to do is stand on one leg and barely move the other leg in the 4 different directions to challenge their balance. With balance, often less is more, meaning if you're all over the place and you can't maintain that balance on one leg, then you need to simplify and just find what challenges you just enough to make it a little challenging, but enable you to keep that balance. Now here's our last one. The ultimate goal here is, can I touch the floor? If I'm standing on my left leg, I'm trying to touch the floor with my right. That's pretty tough for most people, so we're just going to do let me still show you this side. We're still going to do just a little touch. So there's just a almost kind of a seesaw effect to the body. Let's do one more. Let's go to the other side. Do not be surprised if you have one side better than the other. So now I'm standing on my right leg, I'm reaching with my left hand. Just have to catch myself. I do struggle a little bit more with my balance on this side. I have to focus a little bit more. So if you have the balance, you want to challenge yourself, try to reach the floor, come back up. Reach the floor, come back up. As my torso tips forward, my leg comes back. There's this nice counterbalance through the system. Let's do two more. Reach with that left hand. You feel that movement around the hip of the standing leg. All right, enjoy.